Good morning. On my way to work. It's crazy how how sorry, I'm a little sick. It's crazy how one person could become your everything, your every breath, your every thought. And it's okay when it's that person that's been in your life forever anyway. It's not, like, I don't know. So I'm taking care of my mom. I'm caring for my mom. She has Alzheimer's disease. And she has been with me for 2 months. Within this 2 months, it has been a little struggle. Reason for that is her condition is progressing, and it's very sad. It's also very sad that she has, I don't know, she was always a very strong woman, and she has 6 kids that have always been very supportive of her, and for the most part, and love her very much. But for some reason, things have, maybe they were scared. Of course, I've been reading a lot, and people react differently to situations such as this one. It's very sad. So my brother and I have been taking turns caring for her. He stays home with her for 2 days, and I stay the rest of the days. I work 3 days from home, and then of course I dedicate the other days. I am married, 2 kids, 7 grandbabies. It has been a little, I don't want to say stressful, because it's not. It's just very mentally draining to accept and see. Sometimes, I don't know if I'm using the right word. It doesn't feel right saying it, but it could be a little frustrating. Not frustrating. I don't know. Stressful. We'll use the word stressful. That she's like in the evening, for the most part, actually all the time, she starts getting a little bit antsy when it starts getting dark out, and she says to me, okay, well, I'm just gonna go home, please, can you take me home? And I'm like, you're home. And she looks at me, she's like, okay. Then she'll say again, like 5-10 minutes, she'll say to me, I've been thinking, and I think the best thing for me to do is just go home now, and your father's waiting for me, and I don't want him to get mad. And so she will elaborate on that. And I tell her, I'm like, he knows you're here. Oh, you told him I was here? And I said, Mommy, he knows you're here. And it's okay, don't worry about it, he's okay. He's already sleeping. You sure you don't want to call him to tell him? I said, and I will tell her, no, he's here. And he knows you're here. Okay. So then I get up. Okay, so let's go to bed. I sleep with her. I have been since she came with us. Actually, since I went to get her in Puerto Rico. And we'll go to bed, and on the way up, she thinks that we're leaving, and we're going to, like, her house. So instead of going upstairs, she'll start going, like, to go outside. And I tell her, I'm like, no, we're going upstairs to your room. And then she then we'll go up. So it's a little, like it's a every night. It's a really hard thing, because not for me so much, but because I don't know what she's thinking. It's hard to tell what's going through her mind. It's hard to just, I'll ask her, so what are you thinking? Nothing. I just really wish that I could jump in her brain and just, I don't know, and just figure it out before. I don't know. I just want to do so much for her, and it's like totally out of my power. It's totally out of my hand. I wake up in the morning and she's very happy at times. In the morning, she's very happy. I guide her to the bathroom, and once she feels that I'm like, my hands are on her waist, like guiding her, because I don't want to say this way, that way. I just try and guide her. So I'm trying to do whatever it takes for her not to feel that she doesn't know. There's times that I tell Mommy it's this way. I know. I don't want to get her upset. I don't want to make her confused more than she is. So I'm trying to learn how to go about it. There's times that if she gets, if I feel her loss, I will sit next to her and I'll grab her hand. And, like in the evenings, every evening, I always sit by her. And I hold her hand. And I express to her, like, my mommy, and I'm your daughter that loves you, and like I try and point out to her indirectly that I'm her daughter, and and this is my house, because she always wonders, she always asks me if my parents are home and if they're sleeping and if they're okay with her staying there. So I'm trying to just bring her back into my mom. You're my mommy, you're so beautiful, and I'm your daughter. So it's a very, very hard acceptance to make. There's no, I don't know, there's just no easy way about it. The doctor recommended for me to start looking for a place to bring her, and I can't wrap my hand around it, or my brain. I know in the evenings she's going to feel that, and I would never want her to feel that elsewhere than with me, because I assure her that she's safe, that she's okay. I don't think anybody would take their time to do that. So I do work full time, and I am trying to, I have a big house, and we've been there for, I don't know, 7-8 years, and my husband can't do it on his own, so I'm trying to figure out what I could do to work from home. Although, my job has been awesome. They've been amazing with me. They've been so patient, and they are letting me stay home 3 days out of the week, but this was supposed to be my last week on 3 days. I'm supposed to sit with them and tell them what's going on. So I kind of have to, again, I'm still trying to digest everything, if I may, and accept that it's not going to get better, that this is what it is. And I know for a fact I don't want nobody else taking care of her. Again, I have my mom sharp every day. I like her to, my dad always said, so my dad was taking care of her for the past couple of years, and I was going to check on them every 6 months, and then I went down to 4 too, because things started getting, he was not complaining, but telling me, the status and all that. She would take a shower and put the same clothes on, and she would take like 6-7 showers a day, and there were things that were missed that my dad didn't realize. Of course, they've been married 59 years, and it's hard for you to see your person different than she's been for all those 50 something years. So I'm thinking that's what that's about, but I take her clothes, I pick out her clothes, and I help her out. She wasn't able to do that. Of course, I'm not trying to take her independence away, but if I see she's struggling with something, of course I'm going to do it for her. If I feel that I know her, I've known her, like, out of all the kids, I spent a lot of time with her. I got married the latest out of all of us, so I spent a lot of my my whole teenage years. My siblings were married 15, 16, 17, 18, no, not 18, 15, 16, 17. I was 21 when I got married. So anyway, so I wash her clothes every week. Every day she wears something different. Every morning she puts on a dress, and the evening comes, she showers and she puts something nice on. I help her out with her hair and stuff like that, so she feels very, very good about herself, and I am happy with that. Soon, I told her, and I of course sometimes the finances don't allow it, but I am hoping we could go together and get manicures done and pedicures done, and that's who she always was, and that's who I want for her to be. I want, as much as it's not, certain things are not possible, I want the possible ones to be, and those are trying to do what she can, and those are those material stuff. I know it's all material, but those are things that she always enjoyed. She always looked out for herself. She loved to do her hair. She so it's a little challenging, only because I still work full time, and I do have a husband. I've been married. It's going to be 8 years in November 11th. And, my husband has been very supportive. He knows that sometimes it's a little difficult. I've been sleeping with my mom since she came here, and, the traveling back and forth, he's been supportive, very supportive with all that, and I am so appreciative of him. I don't even know. The other day I was walking behind him and he was downloading something, and turns out to be he was downloading an application to learn Spanish, and that took me by surprise. He's been talking to my mom a lot in Spanish. He's American, and I'm like, wow, wow. To me, that's a huge wow, because he is trying very, very hard. He'll notice me, and he knows what's needed when it's needed. He'll come to me and he'll grab me and he'll hug me, and for the most part, I have to wait till he gets home to take a shower, and he'll sit with my mom and he'll bring her something, ice cream, or he spoils her a lot. He You know, he's like, we gotta clean our palate. And, you know, he'll go and get something and they'll both eat something together. And if it's noon and it's still, I don't think about food. And he'll be like, what are you gonna feed her? You know, we have to eat. She needs to eat. And he'll try to think of something that she would think healthy. The other day, she was having a down day, and I was gonna take a shower, and he's like, be quick, because she, you know, it doesn't look like she is having a good evening. So he's looking for something on TV, and he finds cartoons. He does not like cartoons, never. It annoys me because I love cartoons, but I can never watch cartoons because he doesn't enjoy it. So, you know, whatever. So he puts cartoons on, and I'm like, baby, you don't have to put cartoons on. And then he puts them in Spanish, and he's like, listen, don't worry about it. Leave me with this. And then I hear my mom cracking up. Like the whole movie, she sat there and she was laughing. I'm like, I hate you. What, you know, like, really? See, those little things. Actually, no, that's not little, that's huge. That means a lot to me. You know, he sat there and he laughed with her. Something that he's never been a cartoon guy. Never. And he has kids, so I don't know what that's about. But anyway, I am very, very lucky to have him. I am very, very lucky to have my brother who sits home with her and, you know, watches her shows, and he wakes up in the morning. So before I leave, you know, she's still sleeping. So he takes care of, you know, whatever needs to be taken care of. He will do the medicine, the breakfast, you know, make sure that she's dressed, and, you know, whatever. God bless him. God bless him with that. He makes her lunch. He's amazing. Then I have my niece Brenda that came and stayed with her for a couple of days, and she slept with her. So after like 7 weeks, I was able to just like get a full night's sleep. My mom was very comfortable with her, and, you know, and I was able to close my eyes and go to sleep. My husband said that I was turning and tossing, but I think I felt like I got some rest. So that was good. And she entertained her the whole day. She's very hyper. She has lupus, and her medication is over the top. It's like, I need some of that. But it gets her very hyper. But God bless her. She has 4 boys, and she left them with her husband like an hour and a half away, or 2 hours, maybe more. And she came out to, you know, to be with her grandma. I am very appreciative of that, because I know that everybody has a lot of things that, you know, everybody has a life, and I don't expect nobody to stop their life and be for anybody. You know, it takes a lot to be able to do that. So, you know, and today my daughter came over. She was over yesterday, and oh my God, my mom sees her and her eyes light up. She sees her babies, and she's just like, oh, she's in heaven. She is so in heaven. She loves it. She loves being around the babies. Yesterday, she was like, hey, let me hold the baby. You know, she holds him, and then the baby's like really heavy. Not really heavy, but he's, you know, he's getting big. He's 5 months. And she is just in heaven. I don't know how else to describe it. She loves to have them around her. And then my granddaughter, who she calls La Grilla, and since she was, even before she met her, my dad too, he hasn't made her yet, but they just love her. They say, I don't know, it's just something about her. She's just so cute. It's just amazing. And then there's my grandson, baby Roland, who is 11, and he's like as tall as me. And she looks at him, and to her, it's almost like that's her, her from her first grandchildren. And she loves him. She is just like, wow. We go see him playing baseball, and to her, it brings her a lot of memories from when she used to go see my son playing. And she's like, mira papito, mira papito. So she loves being around kids. She has a lot of great grandchildren and great grandchildren. There's 6 of us, and we all have 3, 4 kids. Me and my baby sister are the only ones that have 2 each. But my other siblings, they have 3, 4, 5. My older brother has 7 kids, and they're all older, and they have kids. So last time I checked, we were like 50, 60 something grandchildren and great grandchildren. So anyway, that's my story. I talked a lot. I'm sorry. I needed to vent a little bit. I needed to talk about her. Sometimes it's not easy accepting. All you could do is just, try and catch that ball that's thrown at you, and pray and thank God that, this person is still there. I am grateful to be given the opportunity to have her with me. She wasn't as lucky. She had her mom at a later stage in dementia, Alzheimer's. And, my grandmother was already onto a bed, not able to move. And, yes. So I remember I remember the day she died. And I do remember my mom feeding her in bed. I was 10 or 9. Yeah, I was 9. And she died the day after my birthday, my 10th birthday. I remember my mom feeding her in bed and her not wanting to eat. And the day she passed away, she was calling my uncles, my aunts, and her husband. It was really sad because she just kept saying, Angel, Angel. That's her husband, who she was not with for a long time. I think she started suffering from dementia after they divorced. And her kids were not around her in a regular. But that day she kept calling all her kids one at a time, one at a time, one at a time. And I remember she started losing her breath, and my dad asked my mom to go outside the room. And I sat next to her, and I'm holding on to my mom because my mom was crying. And then there was silence. And all I remember was they came and picked her up on the stretcher, and her eyes were still open. And when they took her by us, she was just like looking up. And I remember her looking at us, like her head was turned. And that's what I remember. Then I remember them putting her in the stretcher, and I don't know. And then my mom just crying and crying and crying. I remember I had a red dress. Anyway, I am blessed to have my mom with me. I am very, very blessed to have my mom with me. And be able to, talk to her and smile with her and laugh with her and dance again, I spoke to my aunt the other day, God bless her, Titi Lulu, pointed out something that, you know, she was on the other side. When my grandfather passed away, they were frustrated because there was a lot of kids and only her and her twin sister, Titi Maria, were the ones looking out for him. And she was the one that was afraid to do things for my grandfather. And she said that, you know, she's like, you have to understand people react differently. And Titi Maria, her sister, who was caring for my grandfather on a full-time basis, you know, she told her, she's like, I can't do it, I'm sorry, I can't do it, I can't do this. And she didn't. My other aunt took over, and, you know, she did. And it's not that she didn't love him or care about him, it was just that she was not able to do it. So I get it. I get it. I get it now. It's just hard for me to accept that after my mom has been through so much for her kids, all of them, that not all of them are, I'm going to say making an effort, but that's probably the way I look at it. I'm sure that's not how it is. I love them all, and I hope they have and take advantage of the opportunity that we have been giving.